Hi, beloved. Welcome to your message. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for joining me and taking heed. Let us tap in and find out what God wants you to know at this time. But before we do that, if you're keen or interested in booking me for a reading or a one-on-one session, you will find my email listed on the screen. Let us begin. We have the Eight of Pentacles. We have the King of Swords. Okay. So here's what I'm seeing here. I see a father and a fatherless child. I see that there's a father who did not fulfill their role in this child's life. This father was an absent father. This father was an absent spirit in this child's life. Okay, the Hermit reversed. This father or father figure, in their path of life, they had a hard time figuring things out, okay? This father was very much driven by certain achievements, certain positions they owned, a certain caliber, certain image. One of those factors I've named influenced this person so heavily, okay? This was what drove this person. This was what kept this person going. Those were this father's goals, and those were where this father's morals were at that time, okay? I see when you experience this father, they were too focused on other things. They were invested in other things that they neglected you. You could have been a sibling child, okay, as well. But I'm seeing they neglected you, okay? This was not only just physical neglect, there was emotional neglect. I see a fatherless child in a form of no relationship with the father whatsoever. So no emotional connection to this person. This child has no connection to this father on an emotional level. The ties that bind only bind in the form of a title. You are the father, you are the daughter, you are the son. but there isn't any relationship amongst that title. It is just a title. No one is actually playing their role. I see that it started with this father that failed you. This father failed you. They failed to meet you halfway. They failed to accommodate you, okay? I feel like you took upon the burden of your parents being unable to make their relationship work. That experience weighed you down for many years, okay? 4+, 6+ years. I see you having a hard time moving on from your parents not being together, or having a hard time moving on from the fact that you didn't grow up in a stable home. This father has a reason why they were absent, okay? I see that in this father's spirit, they are very unsettled right now. 4 of Cups reverse. They're very unsettled, but they're putting on a show. The performer's card. They're putting on a show for those in their reality, portraying something that is elusive. It's not real. They are not in a good place, but they feel like they cannot show it to anyone in their reality. They cannot express that to anyone in their reality. This father feels like they are not in the position to even be vulnerable with regards to what is happening and what they're feeling about this connection. And I feel like it's because of the guilt that is in this father's heart. They feel very guilty for their ego, letting them rule over their decision-making processes and thought processes. They feel very guilty for allowing you to fall into certain things and not helping you. This father, in their spirit, what is in their spirit is a type of energy of, I wouldn't be surprised if you're still mad at me and you hate me or you're resentful towards me. Like, this father is basically, in their spirit, they are in a state of being of understanding and processing any type of emotion that you could have towards them, because they know they deserve it, okay? This is how they feel. They feel like they deserve it, okay? But for lack of a better term, they feel like they deserve to feel this guilt, to be drowning in these sorrows, okay? They feel like, you know, they are at fault. So they beat themselves up, but it's an internal thing here. Like, I see that they are internally fighting. They are internally experiencing hardship. It's not anything that anyone can see in their reality. It's something that is taking place within. But I see where it stems from first, though, before you even, is your mom, okay? Your father never fully moved on from your mother, okay? It's like your father wished, they were a couple, okay? They were in love at some point. I see that here with this 4 of Wands. But the connection they had became really unhealthy, toxic, even dangerous, due to certain behaviors, decisions, and choices that they were individually making. However, when you came into their life. You came at a very chaotic time, is what I'm getting. It's like you came at a time where everyone had their eyes on your parents' relationship and everyone wanted to see where it was going to go. Everyone had a hearsay about it. Everyone was just waiting on something to happen in this connection. And they were taking upon the burden of that for a very long time. So when you came into the picture, it was a chaotic energy that you entered. You know, there was no structure or order. And it showed in your childhood and how you grew up. And with that being said, this father blames himself for that, whether you know this or not. They blame themselves for how things played out. They blame themselves entirely here. But I see that the beginning of the blame stems from your mom. This father, as much as, you know, they never got over your mom, you know, because the love is still there, I'm seeing, but it's not strong enough to keep the relation. It was not strong enough to keep the relationship alive. It's not strong enough to do it, you know. So they blaming themselves for not putting up with your mom enough to form a deeper relationship with you. Okay, there's a card that flipped over. Let's go again. Okay, this is the title card. Okay. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Wands, pardon me. Knight of Wands reversed here. So we have both title cards coming up, okay? And then we have the Knight of Wands reversed, crowned by the World. I see that the chaos you were born into impacted you more than you realized. This father is like, they cannot begin to imagine all that you went through. They can't reflect on you because they have to reflect on your life, and they know your struggles even if they don't know the full story. And the struggles, they too are very much shook at how you overcame everything. How are you still going? How it's like this father is very afraid of your strength. It reminds them of your mother. They see the same strength in you. They, in the beginning, that is why they found it easy to let you go and let everything happen the way it did and be absent and not playing their role. That's why they were okay with that, because in their spirit, they felt like you could take it. But I'm seeing through the grapevines, they kept tabs on you, okay? However way possible, they watched you, okay? They had word out for you. They knew what was going on in your life. Not in its entirety, but in the forms that were necessary. You know, they knew certain basic information about your life that was very necessary to know at that time. So they knew what you were going through, but they did not help you. And as time went by, they started to feel guilty about not helping. They started to feel guilty about only just knowing, but not doing anything about it. The title card. Okay, so, okay. So there was a matter that was very significant that happened behind the scenes. This matter is a matter you know nothing about. It's either you don't know about it at all, or you don't have the full story, the full details, the crucial information of it. Okay, but I'm seeing there's a 50-50 chance. So it's either you know about this and you don't have the full story, or or you don't have certain details, or you don't know at all. But nonetheless, here is what happened. Your father came together with your mom. They included a third party in this conversation. They came together in the form of, they met up to have a conversation about you. Okay, they met up to strategize a way forward on how to go, but they didn't include you in it. Okay, I see that they felt like you were not in the position to make any kind of decision based on what was the current circumstance back then. However, I'm seeing that your mom didn't mind taking the lead in your life and deciding upon your life. So this conversation included a third party. This third party was a masculine energy, okay, an older masculine, an old man. You know, an old man was included in this conversation between your father and the mother. Your mother, they sat down and had a conversation about you moving forward and how things were supposed to go, because this is what they was trying to strategize on. So I see them sitting and having a conversation. But before the conversation even begun, the energy your mom came through was in a very low vibrational way. It's like when your mom experienced your father after a period of time of not seeing them, when they met up to discuss you, feelings started being evoked, thoughts started being evoked, memories started being evoked, but like your mom didn't take it, they couldn't handle how they were feeling. It was like they were, with the Queen of Wands reversed, very bitter, feeling very insecure, very triggered here. Very triggered about what your father would say. Every little thing, they'd feel triggered. They'd wanna just say something about it. And I see that this brought a great uncomfortability upon both your father and this old man that was in the presence of your father and mother, okay? Because your mom's behavior was low vibrational and the conversation couldn't move forward. She kept trying to overpower your father and not trying to have a conversation. Like there was no conversation basically here. I'm seeing it ended abruptly, okay? I see your father standing up abruptly and just leaving because he had had enough. And this old man was siding, with your mom here all along whilst this conversation was going on. So your father was in a position of being just compromised because he was trying to literally just be genuine. I'm seeing it here. Genuine in having a conversation with your mom, but because of her ego and her struggle internally to process what was happening and seeing your father, the emotions, okay, because there was love here. Remember that human experience she had, but it was wrong for her to allow that to control the situation, because that was not what they were here for, and she knew that. I feel like your mom, didn't think of the consequences. Like, they were very, with the Queen of Wands reversed, someone who didn't care about, like, your future like that. Like, they only had an agenda to serve of their own. Like, so after your father walked away, they stayed, okay, your father and this old man, and they had a conversation further. Okay, wherever they met up, they were meeting up. They stayed there further and had a conversation. And the conversation, is void. I'm getting it's irrelevant, okay? I'm being shown that it's void. It's like a contract that is void. It might be signed, it might be signed by people, the contract, but when it's void, it doesn't work. It's like it's completely, it doesn't work anymore. Okay, it's ineffective. It doesn't work. So the conversation I'm being called, it's just void. You don't need to even know what they continue to speak about further. You just need to know that the actions of your mother is what caused the conversation to not move forward. There wasn't a conversation about you. Your father tried, okay, is what I'm getting. I see the Ten of Wands. I see that your father tried, but he kept on being met by blockage on top of blockage, obstacle on top of obstacle. It's like there was like a strong resistance and opposition against him and you having an actual relationship. It's like something that was really hard for him to establish, okay? And at some point he got tired, because it's like you didn't know the behind the scenes. He was dealing with a lot from your mother, from this old man, from these uncles, these sisters, from everyone that had a say, okay? And he just couldn't take it. I see with this King of Pentacles reversed, he lost interest in moving further. He kind of shut down. The part of him that wanted to reconcile and solve matters and make amends, and it shut down. He didn't want to continue forward, okay? Yeah, the Queen of Cups. He felt like this had to be done to protect his own emotional well-being, to protect his heart. He felt like he needed to detach, because he could see that, you know your mother is still very spiteful and bitter. She's an unhealed woman, and he couldn't do anything about that. I'm being called to end your message here. This was a message for you. Really hope this helped you, okay? If you were keen on booking me further for reading, I offer ancestral messages, prophetic and intuitive readings. I offer love readings, spiritual path readings, as well as dream interpretations, okay? I also offer one-on-one sessions. You'll find my email listed on the screen if you were keen. Thank you so much for your time. Until next time.